So, so Canelo Alvarez can't accept his loss like a man. I got some other news I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna do a live stream after I'm done with work, and basically talk about what's going on with the other super fight that she made. But um, as expected with Canelo, instead of him just saying, the better man won, he said that he thought he won the fight. It's funny how people love to put labels on, in particularly black fighters, black media. They'll say, hey, we need to accept our loss and we need to accept this, accept that. But then all I've seen for the most part is a lot of Hispanic, and particularly Mexicans, making excuses for Canelo. And they went as far to say, well, what high level black fighter is on Dimitri Bivens' level? See, it's funny how other people love to set the guidelines and try to say, hey, don't talk about race, don't make race an issue, but then they're making race an issue. At the end of the day, it was cherry picking going wrong. Canelo got punked, he got beat up, and that's just the bottom line. Oh, and go ahead, Canelo stands, and flag the video, because I'm going to win the appeal anyway. I don't even know why y'all be flagging my videos. Like I said, because you don't like something that somebody say, man, but that's typical, because you seeing that with the Kevin Samuels situation, some of the horrible things that people are saying, and it just shows people who are observing this stuff, a lot of black people, in particularly black women's mental makeup. But like I said before, a lot of people was just jealous of Kevin Samuels, and that's just the bottom line. Just like a lot of people were jealous of a lot of different YouTubers. That's why they always keep their names in their mouth and stuff, trying to start fake wars so they can get, or fake YouTube beef so they can try to get some traction. But nevertheless, let me get back to the Canelo thing. Canelo got beat from pillar to post, and that's just the bottom line. He got beat up, he got whooped on, he got worked. And I don't know why it's so difficult for, dude to just accept his loss and be a man about it. That's all dude got to do. Just accept your loss. You got beat. Bibble was the better man last night. He beat Canelo from pillar to post, and Canelo don't want to accept it. Or he trying to, have this, he want to send this message to the fans that the judges got it wrong and he's still a warrior and all this kind of stuff. Bibble could have knocked Canelo out if he wanted to. And that's just the honest to God truth. He could have knocked Canelo out. He could have knocked him out, and it wouldn't have been, and he could have did it with ease. Because one, Canelo had problems finding distance, and then whenever he could try to get off on Bibble wasn't really there to feel the full impact of Canelo's punches. I saw Canelo that looked confused. Canelo didn't even really have that much power. Now he's trying to blame it on the vegan diet. No, you just couldn't hurt him because you didn't have your mystery meat. Now people are saying that Canelo didn't put a rehydration clause in the contract, but my sources tell me that Bibble had to, Bibble couldn't come in no more than 85 pounds fight day. So he still sort of put a 10-pound stipulation. But that's just what I heard. But it could be true and it couldn't be true. But all I know is I saw Canelo get taken apart, and then Eddie Reynoso didn't have a plan B, adjustment plan for Canelo. He told him to keep his guard up high and figure it out. But Eddie Reynoso is this so-called trainer of the year. And both his fighters took back-to-back ass whoopings. Valdez last Saturday, Canelo this past Saturday. You know? And both of them got beat thoroughly. And both of them, to be honest with you, could have got stopped. Shakur Stevenson, had he turned on the gas, he could have stopped Valdez. Valdez was looking to go. He looked like he was ready to go. And it was funny, Bibble, when he had Canelo pent up against the ropes, Canelo couldn't do nothing with him. But I understand him not wanting to smother his punches. And I understand he not wanting to tire himself out. So he just basically toyed with Canelo. He was toying with Canelo. After the 7th round, Bibble already knew I could beat this dude. Bibble already knew after the 7th round, I could just toy with this dude. This fight is in the bag. And there was never a point in the fight where you thought Canelo was going to land something of significance to put Bibble's lights out. Because he already couldn't hurt Bibble. And I'm laughing at the fact, once again, that you actually had people that was thinking that this dude could beat Andre Ward. Andre Ward would have made Canelo run out of the ring, or he would have made him quit on the stands. Quit at his stool. And that's just fact. I'm sorry that some of you Canelo fans can't accept reality. But he got schooled. I'm talking about classes in session. He got schooled. It was like the professor versus the student in that fight. And sometimes when it comes to boxing, it's funny like that. You always wonder, when do a fighter have that type of performance in him? I never saw that kind of energy from Dimitri Bivol before. But I guess he needed the ideal opponent. And I guess Bivol probably was thinking to himself, I'm not about to let no dude that started at 147 beat me. You clearly see the height difference, the weight difference, power. No way, there was no way that Canelo was stronger than Bivol. And I know he lifted Bivol up. He's acted like he was attempting to slam him and stuff. But Bivol was, like I said, Bivol was punking Canelo. When you think about it, you think about the Floyd fight where Canelo was getting countered to death and getting pushed back, versus Bivol, who just was bullying Canelo. He was pushing Canelo off of him. Like, man, get up off me, little man. You can't do nothing with me. Like I said, Canelo lucky he didn't get stopped last night. And if he fights Bivol again, he get knocked out. Now, hopefully that Bivol don't bend in negotiations if they decide to go through with a second fight. But Canelo ain't, like I said, real talk, Canelo ain't no light heavyweight. He ain't no light heavyweight. And it's no reason for Bivol to bend, because Bivol beat Canelo on the up and up. He beat him fair and square. It's no reason to let Canelo try to, like, you know what I'm saying, get over on him in negotiations. That vegan diet that Canelo supposed to be on didn't have nothing to do with what happened last night. No, Canelo wasn't allowed to eat his mystery meat. He couldn't eat his mystery. Canelo is. He has no power. 175. He never in that fight had Bivol hurt. Never. He never dazed him. He never hurt. He never hurt. What? But Canelo was getting hurt. And people really thought that this dude is going up to heavyweight and fight Slick. Do any of y'all believe that now? Do anybody believe that Canelo can beat Artur Beterbiev? Artur Beterbiev will take Canelo's head off. Artur Beterbiev would break Canelo's ribs, and he would do some serious damage to Canelo. Canelo might have brain damage messing with Artur Beterbiev. Canelo ain't no different from the other 16, 17 dudes. I guarantee. And I was laughing. There was people talking about Canelo would knock Artur Beterbiev out. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. See, now the Canelo nut hugging is over now, because he looked very ordinary in that fight. Like I said, I can't believe they actually had people. I remember when I went to Philadelphia to watch Beterbiev versus Boslick. You know, the dude that Artur Beterbiev retired after one loss. The dude said, "I don't want to fight no more." Boslick took one loss, and Artur Beterbiev made the dude retire. Yeah, Canelo ain't no different from any of those dudes. A lot of people in media was just scared to say what should have been said about Canelo. He ain't what they made him out to be. And based off the fact that he lost, to Bibble, a guy who wasn't ranked in anybody's top 10 pound for pound, Canelo's pound for pound status drops dramatically. Canelo should be dropped out of the top 10 of the mythical pound for pound list. I feel Canelo dropped way down. But at the end of the day, when you think about it, maybe the real people that was fooled was some of us media people. But we were so used to Canelo having his way when it came to negotiations, from him making up his own weight class. Maybe the writing was on the wall. Maybe it was us. Because when I think about it, common sense would tell you that Bibble should have been the favorite in that fight. And this is just one of them situations that a lot of us, I thought to myself, I almost was going to say that Bibble was going to win the fight. I wasn't surprised that Bibble won the fight. But when you follow Canelo's career as long as I have, and you've seen some questionable stuff go on with Canelo, it's like, okay. But many of us with common sense ain't that surprised by the outcome. We just surprised that they actually, you know what I'm saying, that this fight was actually on the up and up. And you seen what happened. Like I said before, I hope Canelo doesn't let his pride in there with that dude, because he gonna end up like Chocolatito. He gonna end up like Chocolatito. Canelo gonna be brutally knocked out. He need to go back down to 168. But then at the same time, based off the fact that Canelo went up to 175, ask yourself, is he gonna feel the Roy Jones Jr. effect? Because, you know, when he fought Kovalov, he was like 28, 29. He's 31 now. So that take toll on you going up in weight and then trying to go back down. So you never know how Canelo is going to be. So I'm just saying. Well, like I said, everybody have like that second and third gear. Sometimes, like I say, it just take the right opponent. You look at a person from the last fight and you be like, I don't know. But then they had that one guy, because Bibble said behind the scenes he thought it was laughable. This is what Bibble said. He said he thought it was laughable that he was the underdog versus Canelo, and that Canelo was the favorite over him. All I can say is, if you, man, I should have bet some money. I should have bet some money on Bibble. I should have just took like $200 and threw it on Bibble. And something was telling me that this might be different from the other fights. And see, the thing is, Canelo, everything went wrong for Canelo. He got beat, and not only did he get beat, he got dominated, and then he lost on Cinco de Mayo weekend. So it all came crashing down. And then by him trying to save face by saying, hey man, I was robbed. Robbed of what? What were you robbed of? What were you robbed of? The only person that was on the verge of possibly getting robbed was Dimitri Bivol. And the funny thing was, the fight was so out of reach, the judges couldn't even, as hard as they tried to make that fight close, even they knew it was out of reach. They all said, okay, we'll just say 7-5. I'll tell you what it was. Them scorecards probably might have already been filled out. 7-5. They just had to put the name on there who won the fight. They just needed a name. Because like I said, Canelo, I dare anybody to tell me what 5 rounds Canelo won out of that fight. Like I said, you would be being extremely generous to say Canelo won 4 rounds. I say Canelo at best won 3 rounds, and I'm kind of reaching a little bit. There's only, I mean, for real, in that fight, to be honest with you, the fight was on most people's cards 9-3 Bibble. A couple of people had it 10-2 in favor of Bibble. That's like saying that, there was just only 2 rounds Canelo let get away from him. Canelo let like 9 rounds get away from him. He got pounded on, he got pushed around, he got beat up. Nobody with a straight face. If you think Canelo won a fight, you either need glasses, you were extremely intoxicated or high, or you're just plain stupid. And I hate to use that word, you just plain stupid if you think Canelo won that fight. Because I told you, I ain't with all that coming on my channel talking crazy and stuff. You ain't gonna be talking to me. You ain't gonna be talking to this black content creator that you be talking to them other ones. Because I told you, I don't play that stuff. I double dare one of y'all to come on here talking that stupid stuff on my channel. Because I promise, it's gonna get ugly real quick. And I don't need no moderators to speak for me. I'm gonna say what need to be said. And you ain't gonna like it. It's a blueprint to beat Canelo. If you a slick fighter, you a slick fighter, you don't let Canelo stand still and try to plant his feet, because Canelo have to plant his feet to get off power shots. Canelo can't throw punches going backwards. Canelo is a come forward fighter that used the high guard. He a good counter puncher, but at the same time, you can counter punch Canelo. I'm gonna tell you something. That punch that Bivol hit Canelo with when he was going backwards, had that landed on Canelo's jaw flush, Canelo wouldn't have made the 10 count. And he hurt Canelo with that punch. Like I said, Canelo was looking at, watch the fight. Canelo was looking at his corner like, what am I supposed to do? He looked at his corner at least 2 times in that fight like, what am I supposed to do? And Eddie Reynoso didn't have nothing for him. Hold your guard up high and figure it out. That's what he told him to do. That's what he told him. Me myself, Bibble should have went for the knockout. Because like I said, I saw every sign in the world that told me that Bibble could have stopped Canelo if he wanted to. And I'm talking about Bibble could have hurt Canelo bad in that fight. Bibble was pulling back on his punches a little bit. But he just wanted to pepper Canelo. Canelo was starting to swell up like after the second round. When Canelo went to his corner after the second round, Canelo had this look on his face like what have I got myself into? Like I said, it was the cherry pick that went wrong. He thought based off Dimitri Bibble's record that Dimitri Bibble didn't have the experience or the skill set to like continue with him. I said before, Canelo better stay at 168. Canelo needs to just kick back, go fight Triple G in an uninteresting third fight that nobody don't care about, and then see what he wants to do afterwards. So that's just the bottom line, man. Anyway, it's your boy Tam. I'm out.